Hey there, welcome back to another mini rant. This time it's wrestling related, as in the WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, formerly known as the WWF. Now, I normally do not talk about things like this. Rarely I do in talking WWE. I made this a mini rant though, because this is definitely more of a rant than a specific sort of WWE. I'm not really like reviewing a pay-per-view or anything. And I also wanted to kind of just, kind of make mini rants, not just a movie thing, kind of, so I can rant about other things as well. So, what I'm talking about is Goldberg. Goldberg! 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 No, not the goalie. Not the goalie from the Mighty Ducks. Goldberg. The WCW behemoth, and who had this unbelievable streak and was a badass and had this great presence about him and just came in, got in the ring, hit people with spears, slammed him with a jackhammer. 1, 2, 3. Who's next? That Goldberg. Now, I've always been a fan of Goldberg. So this is not a video from the perspective of somebody who doesn't like Goldberg or thinks he sucks or thinks that he's just a shitty wrestler and so on. And I know there's a lot of people who feel that way. And if you feel that way, fine. That's fine with me. I have no issue with that whatsoever. Yeah, he's limited in his move set, but so were a lot of other wrestlers. And like I said, he has an undeniable presence about him. In his prime, when he speared people, it looked like he tore people in half. So he was a physical freak. And even at the age of 50, he still was a physical freak. But what this rant is about is Goldberg and the WWE in 2003 and now. And mainly about now, because in 2003, they fucked up once. Now, in 2017 and I think part of 2016, they're fucked up twice now with Goldberg. It's like, what are you doing here? Like, did you not learn from your mistakes earlier? Now, I guess they kind of did because they didn't portray Goldberg as a joke. They didn't put a stupid wig on him and have him do some dumb thing with gold dust like they did back in 2003. They didn't completely just destroy his momentum by having Triple H come out with his fucking sledgehammer and bash it over his head and completely just kill dead whatever momentum that he had in the WWE. No, they didn't do that. But the problem is, they're having Goldberg be a Universal Champion, which I think is kind of funny because Goldberg was in Universal Soldier of the Return. So he was a Universal Soldier, and now he's a Universal Champion. So you're gonna have him be the champ, take the title off of Kevin Owens, who admittedly has had a really lackluster title reign as of late. But still, I mean, it really makes your brand look really weak if your champ gets beat in 22 seconds. I understand it was set up for the feud between Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, but as much as I love Goldberg spearing people and jackhammering them, 1, 2, 3, who's next in 2017, because it does put a smile on my face because it's a very nostalgic thing, and I'm a big fan of Goldberg, it still feels very bittersweet because this does not feel right. It feels off. It feels like we just have Goldberg here for like one little run that, in the end of the day, isn't going to mean jack shit. And in 2003, we already had that run that didn't mean jack shit. Then we have this stupid feud between Goldberg and Brock Lesnar that I don't know about you, but I didn't want to see them fight again. I didn't give a shit about these two getting in the ring again and wrestling, especially after the absolutely horrible shit pile of a match at WrestleMania when they both left afterwards and the crowd wasn't into it and the match itself was slow and at best was average. But it was very disappointing considering that you have these two big guys in the ring. And you've been waiting for a match like this, and then it's just this shitty match that's completely forgettable. So what is considered by a lot of wrestling fans to be one of the worst matches in WrestleMania history. Yeah, let's have more matches with these two. Now, if Goldberg was not 50 years old, then maybe I could see it. But he's 50 years old, so he clearly cannot work that long. So he's in the ring for what? Over 100 seconds or something? Like he went in and he fought Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. He beat him in less than 2 minutes. Less than a minute and 30 seconds. Spear, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3. He goes to the Royal Rumble. He eliminates Brock Lesnar and like he's nothing. And now I'm supposed to be hyped or excited for this title match at WrestleMania. I don't think it makes it more interesting having Goldberg be the champion, because Goldberg isn't going to retain, and even if he does, we lose. As much as I love Goldberg, there's no reason why he should be carrying the title right now. There's no reason why Brock Lesnar should be carrying the title. There's no reason why this feud should be even happening right now. How about it's just laziness by Vince McMahon in the booking? They're just like, well, it's Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, and they're these two big men, and I love seeing big sweaty men in the ring. Oh, it's going to be the best main event ever. Nobody gives a shit about Brock Lesnar and Goldberg 3. I know I don't give a shit. I don't care. You know what I wanted to see? If you wanted to have Goldberg come back and have a mini run, don't have him have the title, because that just makes your title, which has already had issues from the beginning, because Finn Balor won it, then got hurt, and it looks like a fucking giant fruit roll-up. But other than that, I mean, you already have problems with the title enough as it is, and then you have your Kevin Owens get beat in 22 seconds. That really doesn't help things. And then you have Brock Lesnar. Lesnar wins. What? Oh, he's going to drop it at somebody more deserving. Like who? Roman Reigns? Because look at how well Roman Reigns is being booked again. It looks like he's being booked like he's Superman all over again. He's probably going to be your Universal Champion next year. Or even sooner. Like this year sometime. Is he the next John Cena? That just keeps me up at night thinking about that. We don't need the next John Cena in the WWE. We need less of John Cena. We don't need more John Cenas. And it's so frustrating because this is coming from the perspective of somebody who is a fan of Goldberg. And I was a fan of Brock Lesnar, but hearing more and more about his shitty attitude about the company, about wrestling in general, and how he just does it for the money, and honestly noticing that most of his matches are pretty boring nowadays because it's the same shit. At least Goldberg has, he has that presence. He hasn't been in the WWE for a while. Lesnar came back, and he wrestles every now and then, and he's got the intimidation factor. But once Goldberg beat him in less than 2 minutes, that was gone. I don't even know what WWE was thinking there. That was a total fuck up. In retrospect, I don't really like that anymore, because it just caused so much damage to Brock Lesnar. Not only did it hurt the Brock Lesnar and his mystique, but it hurt the streak. It hurt the streak that Undertaker had that Lesnar broke. I mean, Lesnar was built up as this beast for all these years, and then Goldberg comes back and beats him in less than 2 minutes. Makes him his bitch. He does it again at the Royal Rumble. And even if Lesnar beats Goldberg at WrestleMania this year, and he probably will, none of that fucking matters, because he's still going to be down 2-1 Goldberg. And who's going to remember the WrestleMania victory for Brock Lesnar over the shocking domination of Brock Lesnar by Goldberg at Survivor Series? That's definitely a moment that people are going to remember a lot more than whatever rub victory that Lesnar might get at WrestleMania. So this is why this whole feud, this whole setup was fucking stupid. And it was just an example of just horribly awful booking. And if Goldberg in the ring and not being in the ring that much. I mean, I can see that because that's where he was at his best. In the ring for a short amount of time, squashing jobbers. But that's the thing. He's not squashing jobbers here. He's squashing champions and squashing people like Brock Lesnar. So, I mean, in the Royal Rumble in 2003, I mean, he was squashing people like Nunzio and shit. I mean, okay, all right, that's fine. But here, it just seems way off. It really does, especially because he's a 50-year-old guy who came back and hadn't wrestled in years, and he's like fucking dominating top guys. And Goldberg had gotten better at promos than he was in the past. It's definitely on display in a lot of his promos that he had. But then there's other times where he slips up. He's not the best promo guy, and he's botched some moves, man. I mean, there's some stuff on Raw where he just totally was just botching shit. It was Botchamania starring Goldberg. Whole thing where he slammed his head into the wall and basically cut open his head, so he's doing this whole promo while he's bleeding from his head. I mean, that image alone, it sums up how much of a disaster this Goldberg return has been. It's been nothing but nostalgia, fan service. And I am a fan of Goldberg, but I just felt if you're going to do nostalgia fan service, then do it in a way that doesn't seem like it's forced or seems like it's taking the spotlight away from the young and up and coming talent. But we the fans, a lot of fans say enough of these part timers, and then they still go in and they pay to see the pay per views and they go and do all this. So, I mean, it's kind of hard for WWE to look at those numbers and be like, yeah, you don't want part timers. They're like, no, you want more part timers. And let's face it, Goldberg, he has a personality, he has charisma, he has a presence. That's something that Roman Reigns doesn't have. That's something that Sami Zayn doesn't have. That's something that a lot of the wrestlers on Raw don't have. So that's that. Goldberg coming back and WWE bringing him back is a sign of the times. It's a sign of how bad things are right now. How desperate they have to get people to be interested in the show, to be interested in WWE. We got to bring back Goldberg. He's a big name. We got to have big names. Because the names that we have, the new guys, they're not really carrying the show. As much as I like Kevin Owens, his title run had been pretty bad. But it started to get better when they had when the feud with Jericho started, or the friendship with Jericho and all of that, and then that broke up, and I was thinking maybe that would have been good enough to headline WrestleMania, Jericho versus Owens for the Universal title. And honestly, that would be a better idea. Goldberg should have not, if you wanted him to fight Lesnar, he should have never fought Lesnar in Survivor Series. It should have saved that for WrestleMania anyway. Or maybe have the Survivor Series match and then do something later. But I really didn't want to see Goldberg versus Lesnar 2 or 3. What I really would like to have seen was Goldberg versus somebody like Roman Reigns or Braun Strowman. Roman Reigns especially. I would love to see Goldberg show Roman Reigns what a real spear is. Now, I'm not the only one that felt that way. And then it wouldn't even have to be a title match. Why is the title even involved in this? It makes no sense. And I mean, so Goldberg's going to carry the title for like if he loses at WrestleMania, he's going to carry the title for like what? A month? A few months, that's it. And then he's done. It was a very pointless title run. And then Lesnar's going to take it, and how long is he going to? He's going to carry it again for a year, and then drop it to somebody like Roman Reigns. Neither of these wrestlers should be having the title right now, at least in my opinion. One of the best things about WWE right now is SmackDown, and that has its issues too, because I felt that John Cena didn't deserve to go over AJ Styles in a pointless title reign, but that's a whole nother story. But AJ Styles has been phenomenal, no pun intended. So it's just one of those things that this is just not right. This isn't right. This booking is bad. This booking is like shit straight out of the deaf days of WCW. I mean, if you wanted to have Brock Lesnar fight somebody, maybe have him fight Braun Strowman. Somebody else. I don't want to see a rehash of a match that I didn't like and I thought sucked from the to begin with. And I don't want to see that at WrestleMania, but that's what's happening. Lesnar Goldberg for the title. And I could care less. But, you know, it is nice to see Bill back. It is nice to see Goldberg back in the WWE. I never thought that would ever happen. And so there is that. But that's as far as it goes, really. Because they've just handled it so poorly. But anyway, I don't know what else to say except thanks for watching. And as always, I will see you guys later. See ya.